Southern California. It's where the people came to play. Don't let them transform you. Oh, come and see what you've been missing on a little slice of heaven. It's the only place we're living. It's that West Coast point of view. Easy when it's always summertime fun. You and I get free attitude. Who cares what the people think? It's been turning kinda gray in Southern California, but I'm allergic to the rain. What happened to euphoria? Oh, don't worry about it, damn thing. I'm too excited. Dark liquor with the palm trees. It's all or nothing. Ooh, it's all or nothing. Ignore the signs and socialize. Come and see what you've been missing on a little slice of heaven. It's the only place we're living. It's that West Coast point of view. Easy when it's always summertime fun. You and I get free attitude. Who cares what the people think? 'Cause it's that West Coast point of view. Easy when it's always summertime fun. You and I get free attitude. Who cares what the people think? Just another sunny day in Southern California. It's where the people came to play. Don't let them transform you. Oh, come and see what you've been missing on a little slice of heaven.
How about this? Creativity is intelligence having fun. You're intelligent because you're here, because you showed up and you're going to take care of your body. Let's be creative. Let's have some fun. Have some fun as you create these poses and modify these poses to make this yoga work for you. I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. You're doing it your way. But whatever you do, the bottom of the screen says, do what is right for your body. Don't hurt your body. You've only got one of them. Take care of it. Take care of it. Don't hurt it. If something hurts, back out of it. Take it to a lesser percentage. Don't do it at all. Modify it your way. Just don't hurt yourself. All right, every day we practice live for 1 hour, start to finish, no cuts, no changes. It's just like being in a real class. All the imperfections, it's all real. And I'm glad you're here doing it your way. Every day is different, every practice is different. So come back, join us on another day, and stay for today, but join us on another day. Today, we are calling this Yoga Plus. It's yoga plus Pilates, plus barre, plus weights. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be fun. You're gonna have a good time as you just feel good in your body. And when you're done, you're gonna say, oh wow, I'm really glad I did it. And the hour went by. Create the perfect practice for you by modifying. Modify. Okay, you're gonna need some props. I've got a ball here. It's a slow-mo ball. You can also use a bender ball. They're just little squishy balls, a very thin membrane that you don't inflate all the way because you want to create an unstable surface. That's the purpose for it. Grab some hand weights if you've got those. If you don't have those, grab a couple of water bottles. I've got a strap. If you don't have a strap, you can also grab a belt to your robe or a dog leash or a jump rope. All right, an eye shade or a little hand towel and a couple of yoga blocks. You're going to want to have some water handy too. A lot of stuff, right? Just have the water, and if you just have your body, you can do this. It's an absolutely wonderful practice for you to just feel better in your body, your mind, and your soul. That's what yoga's all about. Word I'd like you to think about today as you practice is the word release. The dogs know that word. Release. Release means to free yourself from anything that's holding you back, to liberate, to be free. Let go of stuff, let go of doubt, and let's begin our practice. Come on up to standing and lock a stress number in your mind. And the stress number, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, where are you in your head? We're going to release and let it go. All right. So as you're standing, real simple, you got this. Try to be barefoot if you can, because you want to be able to dig your feet into the ground and just move your toes independently. Put your hands on your hips. Let's take a confidence pose. Hands on your hips, elbows back, chest is lifted right there. You're feeling more confident already, aren't you? Take a deep breath in through your nose and a deep breath out through your mouth. All right, here we go. Let's come on up onto the balls of your feet. As you come on up, how are you doing there? You got that? Come on up onto the balls of your feet. You know, another prop you could have is a chair. If you have a chair nearby, you can hold on to it. Let me close these. I think that might make it a little bit better. I told you it's live, right? All right, here we go. Still trying to learn the ropes here. All right, so come on up onto the balls of the feet, down onto the heels, maybe rock onto the heels, allowing the toes to come up. Breathe, gaze forward, shoulders away from the ears. Breathe in, breathe out. Here's something for you to think about. I meet myself where I am. Think about that for a second. Don't strive for something that is just unattainable at this point. Just be glad you are where you are. Meet yourself where you are and just try. That's all you got to do. All right, so calves are waking up the foundation of your feet. Plant your feet solidly on the ground. Lift your arms up to an extended mountain pose. With the arms lifted high, maybe look up to the sky. Breathe, stretch it out. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Here's a question for you. Are you standing in your own way? A lot of times we are. We're our own biggest obstacle. Let it go. Release it. Take a deep breath in. Sigh it out. Soften your shoulders. Take a little baby back bend. Baby back bend. Fingers reach toward the back of the room. Hips go forward. Gaze goes up. Exhale, fold forward. Fold forward. Let your arms come toward the earth. Put a little bend in your knees if that feels good. Arms are reaching long. They're away from your ears. They're reaching toward the earth. The crown of your head is going toward the ground too. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Let it go. Roll your spine up one vertebra at a time. Come on up. Chin away from your chest. Nice job. Let's send our arms back up. Remember, extended mountain lift. Now this time, interlace your fingers, send your palms up to the sky, put a bend in your elbows if that feels better, and then start to sway from side to side in your gentle palm tree pose. Breathe in, breathe out, let it go. All right, so lateral flexion of the spine. Oh, let it feel so good. Let's come back to the midline of your body. Let your arms float on down. Let's do some arm circles here. Arm circles can be nice and big as you really get into the shoulders, or make them a little bit smaller. Tee out the arms and do little circles there. Drawing circles on the sides of your room, if that feels good for you. Let's add in the knees. When the hands come down, the knees bend. When the arms go up, the knees straighten. Breathe. Make it audible too. You're in through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. Take your arm circles in the opposite direction. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Most important part. Big refreshing breaths, big arm circles, big bends in the knees. Maybe. If that works for you, go for it. All right, let's finish up. Come on up to standing. Big coat swing, a favorite pose of so many of us. Arms are down by your sides, shoulders loose. Just wiggle them a little bit. Now start to twist in the waist and turn from side to side, right to left. Letting the arms be heavy and loose. Tapping your backside and your hip. Looking over one shoulder, then the other. Really get into the twist here. Breathe. And then let's finish up. Slowly come back to the midline of your body. Let's take a bow forward as we do our ragdoll pose. Focus on what you can do today. Focus on what you can do. Don't focus on what you can't do. Keep your gaze on what you can do. Keep your gaze and your focus on what you want to do, what you want to achieve. Little bend in your knees. You're folded in half here. Bend your elbows, hands to opposite elbow creases. Look back towards your knees. Look up towards your belly button. Let your shoulders relax. Let your hips relax. Don't sweat it here. Start to sway from side to side like a little ragdoll. Breathe in. Release it. Let it go. You got it. This nice little warm-up, something you can do throughout your day. Just take an extended mountain pose every once in a while. After you've been seated for a long time, just take a ragdoll pose. Just move. Stretch it out. All right, let's finish up. Come back to the midline of your body. Your eyes can be opened or closed. Give your toes a wiggle. Maybe lift them up and give them a wiggle because you can. When you're ready, place your hands onto your mat and come on down to your mat. So you're on your knees. Let's take a child's pose. Child's pose we do in just about every practice. It helps you get into your space, your private little space on your mat, your time for you. Knees together, big toes touching, hips back to the heels. You have an opportunity to use a block here if you want. You can bring your head down to it or no block at all. Head to the mat, arms down by your sides, palms face up, shoulders away from your ears. So you feel nice and tight and concise in this little ball called a classic child's pose position. An option would be to take your extended child's pose. That's with your knees spread wide. Big toes are still touching, hips go back toward the heels, arms reach this time to the top of the mat, and your head can come down to your block or to your mat. Forehead is on the mat. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Let it go. Make this yoga work for you. Deep breaths. Feel your lungs expand. Feel them expand to the sides of your mat. Let it go, let it go, let it go. If you'd like, engage your Ujjayi pranayama breath that allows you to focus inward and build heat in your body. To do that, close your lips and breathe in and out of your mouth. Or not in and out of your mouth, in and out of your nose. Your lips are closed. Breathe in and out of the nose. If it doesn't work for you, breathe any way you like, but try to keep your breath long. Shallow breath indicates that you're working too hard. Back out of the depth that you're in if you're breathing shallowly. Shake your head left to right. Massage your forehead into your mat. Come to stillness. Maybe reach a little farther to the top of your mat, or if your arms are down by your sides, reach more toward the bottom of your mat. Get into your shoulders. If you'd like to put a bend in your elbows, that's fine too. Push your hands into your mat, good and strong. Think of like elongating the mat as you send your hips more back toward your heels. Breathe in. Breathe out. Child's pose. Stay here longer if you like. It's a great pose of surrender. It lengthens your spine. It awakens your quadriceps, your ankles, and your knees. Lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the neck. Even the shoulders are getting a nice stretch here if you're in the extended child's pose variation. Stay here longer if you like. I'm going to press out of this and come on up to a neutral tabletop. For a neutral tabletop, you want your knees under your hips. You want your shoulders over your wrists. You want to press into the earth with not only your hands, but the tops of your feet. Lengthen through your spine. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Let's turn our hands so our fingers are back towards our knees and therefore our forearms are shining forward. All right, how do your forearms shine? All right, so your forearms are forward. Stretch, move your hips a little bit from left to right, back and forth. Stretch out those forearms. How does it feel? Fingers spread wide. You can take your hips back further. Maybe you want to come on up to the fingers. You do what feels good here to achieve that nice strong stretch in your forearms. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, I have a question for you. Do you want to feel more supported? Do you want to feel more balanced? Do you want to feel more mobility? Of course you do. Let's do a pose that starts with that. It's the foundational pose. Let's bring our hands back into a natural position. Wiggle your fingers. Get those little tingly feelings out of your arms. The pose for better balance is toes pose. Tuck your toes towards your shins. Have a seat back on your heels if you want. You don't have to. You can take a block and you can put the block under your bottom. Breathe in, breathe out. You got that part down, right? All right, so maybe this is too intense. Maybe it is too much. If that's the case, maybe hinge forward a little bit. Let's take this from a toes pose to an ankle pose to get that full range of motion in your feet and your ankles. That's what you want. Your foundation's got to be strong. All right, so your foundation is strong, you will have better balance. You'll be more mobile, you'll be more flexible. It's all good. Toes pose, you can stay here, you can use your blocks. You don't have blocks, no problem. You can use your hands. Let's come to an ankle pose. Bring the tops of your feet onto your mat. Knees stay together. Have a seat back on your heels. Use your hands or your yoga blocks to lean on back, keeping your knees together. Chest is still lifted, and you sit on the tops of your feet. All right, so we're gonna flow this. That means just back and forth, staying as long as you want, maybe a couple breaths here, a couple breaths there, but you wanna move through it and get those ankles going every which way. Your feet, oh my goodness, there's 26 different bones, 30 different joints, 19 different muscles, and 107 ligaments just in your feet alone. So there's a lot going on down there. Work it. I'm gonna come back to the ankle pose. Lean on back, maybe challenge your balance by not using your hands. Nothing wrong with using the blocks or your hands, but just, layers. Take it in layers. You gotta make the yoga work for you, right? Maybe you close your eyes. That'll challenge your balance. Hands to prayer center, that's always a good place to be. And I'm gonna flow through it maybe one more time. Get that mobility in the feet and the ankles, just love it. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. You don't ever want to hold your breath. How are you doing? I'm going to take it farther. I'm going to push into my hands. Oh, let the knees come up a little bit more. All right. Feels better already, right? Neutral tabletop again. Remember, shoulders over wrists, knees under hips. Press into the earth. Tops of your feet are pressing into the earth too. Now lift them up. Squeeze and scrunch your toes. Circle the ankles this way and that. Tap the tops of your feet out on your mat. I always feel like, it's gonna sound weird, I always feel like I have more space in my ankles. They just feel more airy after you're doing toes pose and ankle pose. Press into your hands and the tops of your feet. Let's do cat-cow. Cat-cow, tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, arch your back up to the sky like a Halloween cat. This is a pose where it's really easy to feel like you're bringing your belly button to your spine. So push into the earth here. Don't forget the feet push too. Inhale, cow, crown of the head and tailbone lift. Hello to Canal and Tammy and Betty and Lynn and Rena, Margarita, Elizabeth. Breathe. Cat, cow. Kelly, Lynette, Lindell, Margarita. Breathe, cat, cow. Marietta and Steve. How are you? All right, cat-cow, how does it feel? Come to a neutral tabletop. There's your cat-cow pose. Great for the spine. Let's do a cat pulling its tail. So what you want to do here is lift your right leg up, and maybe that's where you stay. Bring your right hip and left hip equal distant to the mat, so figure out where that is. Lift here, draw the heel toward your bottom. Maybe that's where you stay. I'm gonna push hard into the earth with my right hand. I'm gonna take my left hand around and capture my foot. That's cat pulling the tail. Really press into the earth. That helps you have a firm foundation. Kick your foot into your hand, and maybe look over your left shoulder. Breathe. Most important part, breathe. Knee comes down, hand comes down. We have another side to do. Lift the left leg up, and if you're staying right here, good on you, totally fine. Adjust your hips, equal distant to the mat. Lift the knee a little bit higher so it's at about hip height. Maybe kick yourself in the bottom a little bit here, and stay right here, totally fine. You can feel the strengthening of the low back happening. Take your right hand, reach around and capture your foot. Kick into your hand, feel it in your right collarbone, look over your right shoulder or to the right side of your room, kick harder into your hand. And then finish. Knee comes down, hand comes down. One little cycle of cat-cow. Move your spine. Nice. Finish up in your cat-cow pose. Let's find this ball. Okay, if you don't have the ball, totally fine. We're gonna do fire hydrant. It's gonna strengthen your glutes, the big muscles in your backside. Place the ball behind your knee. You could place a weight there. You could place a water bottle there. You could place nothing at all there. Totally fine. Lift your right knee up. This time, bring the knee to the side of the room. Draw your ankle or draw your foot toward your shin. Lift like a dog on a fire hydrant here. Lift. Keep the weight equally distributed in your hands. Lift and lower and breathe. Be a little dog or a big dog. Just get some mobility in the hips going. You don't have to push it. You don't have to do a whole lot. A little bit goes a long way. It really does. Lift the leg up and pulse the leg up, up, up to the sky. Little teeny pulses, you got it. Maybe bring the ankle higher than the knee. That is your fire hydrant pose. Let's let the knee hover next to the left knee. Now take it to a donkey kick. Lift the leg up like you did when you did your cat pulling its tail. Lift your knee to about hip height. Chances are you gotta bring it a little bit higher. Hold it here. Hips are equal distant to your mat. Now kick yourself in the bottom. Just pulse on that ball. If you don't have the ball, no big deal. Just pulse the heel toward your bottom. Lengthen through your spine. Weight is equally pressed into your hands. Now, hug and squeeze your heel tightly toward your bottom, and then pulse the leg up, up, up toward the sky. So think of your right foot as just kind of stomping on the ceiling. Oh, breathe. Maybe occasionally you need to sigh it out your mouth. Oh, let it go, let it go, let it go. Release that tension as you build strength in your body. All right, let's let the knee hover next to the left knee. Hover it, and then plant it on down. Other side, bring the ball behind the left knee now. All right, how are your wrists doing? You know, you could always ball your hands into fists. That's a way of making it a little more comfortable. I'm going to lift the left leg now to the side of the room, and I'm gonna do my fire hydrant pose here. So lift and lower. Remember to breathe. How are your hips? Left hip and right hip should be pretty equal distant to the mat. Is the weight equally distributed into your hands? That's an important part too. All right, so you're gonna be more mobile in your hips. It's gonna feel better when you walk. Breathe. Big dog, little dog, up to you. Hold it up nice and high and pulse it up to the side. Pulsing the side of the leg up to the sky. When you're ready, knee hovers next to the right knee. Time to kick it on back, and time to kick your heel toward your bottom. Hips again, equal distant to the mat. Lengthen through your spine, push into your hands, and spread your fingers wide. You want to do that, and you want to kind of like suction your fingers to the mat like a gecko. And it also helps to push a teeny bit more weight into the thumb and the pointer finger. That seems to alleviate some tension on the wrist if you got that going on. All right, squeeze that ball good and tight. Hug the heel towards your bottom, and then pulse the leg up, up, up to the sky. Spine is long. You got it going on. So you're strengthening your low back. You're working on those big muscles in your backside. Firming them up, toning them up, And most importantly, keeping them strong so you can do the things you want to do. The other things in the 23 hours of your day off of your mat. It's what our yoga does. It makes us stronger so we can live a better life off of our mat. All right, so let's finish here. Hover the left knee next to the right. Here comes the treat after this pose. Plant the left knee next to the right. Remove the ball, bring it to the top of your mat. Spread your knees super duper wide, hips back to your heels, hands on the ball. How does that feel? And settle on in. Send your chest toward the earth. Send your bottom towards your heels. Stretch it out. Arms reach long to the top of the mat. Maybe your hands are on the ball on that unstable surface. Maybe you massage the ball into the ground a little left to right. Feel the stretch in your armpits. Breathe in, breathe out, settle back into your heels. All right. I have another question for you as we come out of this pose and go into the next one, or stay in that pose if you prefer. Here's the question. Do you want to be stronger? Of course you do. We all want to be stronger. And you may think as you get older, you don't have to be as strong, but you have to be even stronger. You've got to face those challenges. You've got to stay strong in your core throughout your body. One of the best poses to do that is with a plank. And we do planks just about every day of the week in our practice. So let's do a plank now. Now here's the deal. If you're new to planking, you can lie on your back, send your arms up to the sky, and imagine like the ceiling is the ground, and you're going to push into the ceiling. So just in your head, you're getting into your plank in your head. Other variations, if you want to stay on your knees, bring your arms more forward, send your knees more back, and hinge the weight more forward into your arms. Press the weight into your arms and hold on here. You can stay on your knees. Put a towel under your knees if the knees are bothersome. Another variation would be to come down to your forearms. Elbows underneath your shoulders, legs long. You can stay on your knees, kind of like you feel like a sphinx here. Press into your forearms. There you go. You can feel core engagement as everything kind of tenses up. Another variation would be to take a high plank. Arms long, legs long, wrists underneath your shoulders, legs long. Push into the earth and hold your plank pose here. I'm going to take a dolphin plank, also known as a forearm plank, and I'm going to hold the ball between my thighs. It's going to make me squeeze down there too. All right, so elbows underneath your shoulders, forearms into your mat. Legs long. I'm going to pop on up. Let's set the timer for 1 minute. All right, so here we go. There's the timer. So, in your plank variation, whichever one you're doing, the timer on the screen is there for you to measure your progress if you want to. You don't have to. We have 15 seconds into this pose. You got it. Take breaks as you need them. A way to take a break would be to drop to your knees. Or if you're in a high plank, you could send your hips high as you come into a downward dog position and just take a break there. In either variation, in any of these variations, think of your spine as long, press into the earth, and feel the engagement of everything you got. Okay, we got about 15 seconds to go. Hold on, push the earth away. Remember, fingers spread wide. Everything's engaged, everything's tight, right? We've got less than 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and guess what? You're done. Come on down to your knees. How did you do? Take a drink if you like. Any variation of plank is beneficial. Even the one you're thinking, oh, I'm on my back and I'm just pushing my hands up. It's all beneficial because your mind is in the game. Your mind is thinking, hey, I can do this. I can do planks. I'm gonna grab a drink. All right, so here's the deal. Here's the next pose. We're gonna do some other core things. Plank is pretty intense, isn't it? Everything's tight, everything's strong, everything's getting stronger. Key is to show up. All right, so what we're gonna do is come to a seat. Sit on your bottom. I'm gonna place this ball at my back. If you don't have a ball, that's fine. You don't have to do that. You can lean back without a ball or come to fully reclined on your mat. I'm also gonna take a block. I'm gonna place it in a stable position at the base of my mat. I'm gonna bring my soles of my feet to touch and have my knees open wide. You don't have to have the block either. It's just different variations to shake it up a little bit. I'm gonna place the ball behind my back. Hands can stay at prayer center. Arms can reach long to the front of the room. Or fingertips, if you're fully reclined, fingertips lightly to your temples, elbows back, and just pulse on this ball. You take the variation that seems to speak to you today. I'm gonna bring this block up a little closer to my groin. Reach, reach, reach. Little pulses here. You got it. Breathe, look forward. Little pulses. Pulses are indicative of a bar practice. That's what you do in a bar practice. Little teeny movements, little teeny, almost isometric still movements, but little movements work the muscles in a different way. Unlike how we did the other day in a restorative practice where you hold a pose for a long time to allow the body to relax and the muscles to elongate. And also unlike our vinyasa practice, which is Tuesdays and Saturdays, where it's a lot of quick movement, one breath, one movement. It's pretty challenging. Bring your hands to surround one knee or the other. Reach, reach, reach. Pulse, pulse, pulse. You got it. You got it. Totally got it. Let's go back to the center just for a few little pulses to just kind of recalibrate and come back to center. Then take it to the other knee. One hand on each side of the knee. Pulse, pulse, pulse. So all yoga is good yoga because you make it work for you. Quick pace is good sometimes. Restorative is good lots of times. And shaking it up with a bar practice, with Pilates, that's all good too. All right, back to center. How's your core? Oh, you got it going on. Nice. All right, let's come on up to seated. You feeling that? Let's remove the block if you used it and remove the ball too. Let's do the Pilates 100s. For 100s, you can do it with no props, or you can use your ball again. If you want to use the ball, you can take the ball and squeeze it between your ankles. You can leave the ball there. You can put your heels up on it and have that unstable surface, or no ball at all. Your call. You do it your way. I am seated with my shoulders over my hips. I'm going to reach my parallel arms long toward the front of the room. I'm going to take a long, strong reach to the front of the room. I'm going to reach down and capture my ankles, my calves, whatever you can reach. Keep your elbows hugged in. Take this little teeny seated forward fold. As you come on back up, come all the way down to recline. Maybe hands at prayer center. Come on back and lie down. Arms down by your sides. Oh, I'm feeling it in my core. Arms down by your sides. Let's do some more core. Okay, thank you, Joseph Pilates, for your practice called Controlology. He didn't name it after himself. We did that after he passed. All right, arms are down by your sides. Pat the ground. Raise your hands up, 6 or 8 inches from the ground and just pat, 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 pat. Maybe lift your legs up, or maybe they're on that ball and hold it right here. Shoulders are away from the ears. The idea here is that you pat the ground 100 times, but you, like we always say, you do it your way. Maybe today it's 5 times, maybe today it's 20 times. However many is right for you, that is what you need to do. But just come back. Come back and keep trying. You know, we all know, the more you do it, the better you get at it. Anything, right? You just gotta do. You just gotta show up. That's the most important part. So you're patting the ground. Maybe lift your shoulders up too. Try that on for size. See how that is. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. You got it? You got it. All right. I think that's about 100, don't you? Let's come on down. Stretch it out in your stick pose. Reach your arms high overhead. Point your toes to the bottom of the mat. Stretch it out here. Maybe even wiggle your hips. Let's do boat pose next. Arms down by your sides. Either press on up or come on up to seated with no press of the hands. Find your strap if you like to do your boat pose. So you can use a strap, or no strap at all. I'll just show you how to use the strap real quick if you want to try it. Place the strap under the soles of your feet. Draw your toes up toward the sky, elbows hugged in. Most important part here, sit up straight. Sit up straight, chest out, elbows hugged in. Lean on back as if you were in a recliner and let your legs lift too. All right, you don't have to use a strap. You could come down to your forearms, elbows under your shoulders, and lift your legs here. You could lift the legs, placing your hands behind your hamstrings. Stay lifted in the chest, maybe remove the hands, reach up, 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 more if you want. Hold on, there's your boat pose, lean on back, put a smile on your face, bring your hands to prayer center, little bend in your knees, and then row your boat. One elbow toward the earth, then the other, like a little rowboat. How are you doing? All right, let's finish in our boat pose. Any of those layers is great. Finish up, hug your knees in, heels towards your bottom, wrap your forearms around your shins. Whoo, lengthen up. Come on up to the tiptoes of your feet. If you can, if you want, you don't have to. And then lean on back a little bit more, find your balance here. Who says a balancing pose has to be standing? We can balance right here. Circle your ankles one way, then the other. Maybe draw your forehead toward your knees. And then finish, feet come down. Find your 2 blocks and let's go into a lunge. All right, here's the deal. Back to the hips again with your 2 blocks. You don't have to use them if you don't want. Bring one leg forward, right knee over right ankle. Bring the other leg, the left leg back, nice and straight and long. Push into your blocks to allow you to send that leg long. You want to feel a deep stretch in your left hip. If you don't have the blocks, you can push into your mat. Think of like a runner's lunge, right? Okay, so I'm gonna press on up now. I'm gonna bring my shoulders over my hips. Maybe the arms sweep up and you look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Hold on there. Hands back to prayer center. Maybe arms reach long to the front of your room. Take any of these variations that strike your fancy. Hands back to the blocks. Start to surf. Right leg bends and straightens. You can use the blocks to walk them on back towards your bottom and maybe have a seat on your heel. Excuse me, Piper. Come forward using the blocks or not, and then come back. Go get in your bed. Forward and back. I told you it was live, right? The dogs don't always cooperate, but they're really good. I think it's the word of the day that she heard. And that made her get up. So, back and forth, surfing it out. How are you doing? Let's finish. Come to standing on your knees. Right knee meets left. Time to do the other side. Left foot forward, knee over ankle. Left leg long and strong, y'all. You got it. Top of the right foot is on the mat. Press into your blocks. Stay right here. Nothing wrong with this. Nice, static, deep stretch in that right hip flexor. Maybe come on up, shoulders over hips. Maybe hands to prayer center. Maybe arms reach up and you take that baby back bend. All of these are maybes. Maybe arms reach long to the front of the room, parallel to each other. You want to just feel it in that hip. All right, I'm going to start to surf now. Left knee straightens, left knee bends. Walking the blocks back. Walking the blocks forward. Or no blocks at all. You don't have to bring your bottom back to your heel either. You do what's right. Strong core is going to pull you up and forward, and it's going to keep you controlled as you come on down. Breathe. And when you're ready, are you ready? I'm ready. Let's finish. This time, let's come back to the starting position. Left knee over left ankle, and let's have the right foot sweep on up to meet the left. All right, let's grab our weights. Now you're gonna have to move, Piper. Thank you. All right, so grab your hand weights. We're gonna do a little bit with those. Okay, so you could place the ball, let me get that. You could place the ball between your thighs if you like. It keeps you engaged, keeps you strong, keeps you focused. So think about everything engaged. It's like when you go to the gym and you lift weights, you wanna keep everything strong and the core together and engaged. All right, so if you have the ball between the thighs, good. If not, that's fine too. Take the weights to your arms. Keep your elbows hugged in, root into the earth. Your feet are hip width distance apart, and that ball really helps you get there. Arms lift and lower. Lift and lower. All right, here's the deal. You could also lift one arm, then the other. No rush, no hurry, no worries. You got this. And the size of your weights, I don't care what you have. It doesn't matter what you have. The fact you're here is what matters. Maybe you're lifting water bottles. Try to lift a little something. The resistance is good. Lift and lower. You got it. Keep lifting. Keep lowering. How's that? All right, nice. Let's take our arms now, let's tee them out. Tee them out, palms face up. Hold on to that ball. You can see the difference when you have that ball. Your lower body's engaged too. You just feel strong and solid, don't you? Now let's pulse these teed out arms a little to the top of the room. To the top of the room, to the ceiling. How's that? Little teeny pulses, up, up, up. Now if you'd like, let's bring the weights to your shoulders and your elbows. Your chest is open, your elbows to the sides of the room. You can do one at a time or both at the same time. And maybe turn your head in one direction and back to center and turn it the other direction. Yeah, I don't know how you'd turn it in the other direction without going back to center. That's some exorcist stuff going on. All right, breathe. Breathe, extend, lift. You got it, you're strong, stay strong. Squeeze the ball. You got it, make it work for you. All right, let's send the weights up to the sky. This time, palms are facing each other. Bring the weights down to your shoulders and send them up again. Lift and lower, you got it. Let's put a little bend in our knees. Put a bend in your knees when the weights are at your shoulders, and then a little straightening of the knees when the weights go up, but don't lock your knees out. Bend and lift, bend and lift. You got it. Weights go up nice and high, weights come together. Hold on to those weights or ditch one weight if you want or have no weights at all. Elbows hugged in toward the sides of your head and bring the weights down your back. So bring the weights down and we're gonna lift and lower these here. So you're working your triceps, the undersides of your arms. Breathe. You got it, stay strong, come on, you can do it. Yes, you can. Nobody has anything on you. You're here, you're strong, you've released all the doubt, you're free from what's holding you back, and you're in your game. Breathe. All right, working those triceps. Let's do it again. Lift your arms high to the sky. Let them float down by your sides. Put a bend in your knees. Squeeze the ball if you got it. Let's do more with those triceps. Bend into the knees. Maybe come up onto the balls of your feet or not. It's up to you. Take the arms, bend your elbows, hug them in by your waist. Bring the weights kind of by your armpits and then send them to the back of the room. So you're working on your balance here. If you're on your toes. And if you're standing on your feet, that's fine too. Send the weights back with a nice straight arm and then bring them back towards your armpit. Back and towards your armpit. Let's send them way far back toward the back wall. Let's pulse those ends of the weights up, up, up toward the sky or toward the back of the room. Let's pulse the weights in towards your low back. Chest is lifted, gaze is forward, focus. You got it. Let's bring the feet down. Let's bring the weights down by our sides. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out, let it go. Let's hinge forward at the waist. Let the weights hang toward the earth. Now let's row. Bring the weights up towards your armpits and then down. Weights to your armpits and down. You could alternate one arm, then the other. Your back is nice and flat. Your spine is long. The crown of your head is lengthening to the front of the room, and your tailbone's going to the back. Lift and lower, and breathe. Let's finish here. Place your weights down and remove the ball. Roll your spine up one vertebra at a time as you come on up to a standing position. Let's take our beloved tree pose. Root into one foot, open up the knee of the opposite leg to the side of the room. So you're balancing on the ball of the foot of the bent knee side. You can hold on to a chair. You can bring the heel in to the inner leg, hands to prayer center, Work the foot up onto the calf or up onto the thigh. Just don't place the foot on the knee. Settle into your hips. Hold that chair if you like. Hands to prayer center. Here's a tip. As you press the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot, you feel more secure. As you look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet, you've got focus and you've got a deep rooting into your feet. You find a loftiness in the crown of your head. Focus. Grow your branches if you like. Maybe one hand is on a chair and you're waving the other to the sky, or both arms are up and moving as you sway your branches. That makes you think, doesn't it? And it makes you catch yourself. And if you fall out, no big deal, get right back in. Bring your hands back to prayer center, guide the knee to the front of the room, plant the right foot next to the left. You got it. Other side, root into the opposite foot. Knee opens up, slide the foot wherever feels right for you. Hold the chair, hold your hips, whatever you want to do. Fullest expression of your tree pose. Hands to prayer center, leg pressed into foot, foot pressed into leg. Branches grow. You look up. Sway the branches, maybe even close the eyes. That's a real challenge. And when you're ready, let's finish. Hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Left foot meets right, right foot meets left. Take a big step out with your right leg. Big step out with the right leg. Hinge forward with the weight into that right leg. Put a little bend in your knee. Let the back leg lift up, up, up to the back wall. Hinge forward. You're creating like a T shape with your body. Leg is lifted. Maybe the arms reach too. Maybe the hands stay on the hip. Find balance in that one standing leg. You got it. Let's come back. Left foot meets right. When you're ready, let's step forward with the left and back with the right. I'll come here. Weight hinges into the left leg. Little softness in the knee. You don't want to lock it out. Back leg lifts a little or a lot. You want to come into that capital letter T shape. Hold it. Nothing wrong with holding your hips or a chair. Hold it. And let's finish. Left foot meets right. Come back to standing. Take your big extended mountain arms. Exhale, hands to prayer center. Fold forward. Fold forward. Let's walk our hands forward and come down to our knees. Find your weights if you want to. You totally don't have to. You don't need to use weights at all. We're going to come down onto our right side. Come onto your right hip. Right arm parallel to the top of the mat, elbow underneath your shoulder. Take the weights into one hand. Knees are bent, clamshells. So lift and lower. You can keep the ankles glued shut. You can ditch the weights if they're not speaking to you today. Breathe. Maybe legs lift. Feet are off the ground, and you're opening and closing your legs here. Let's do clamshells on the other side. Flip on over. Flip on over, so now you're on your left hip. Same position, forearm parallel to the top of your mat. Knees are bent. Weight or no weights. Lift and lower the legs. You got it going on. Maybe ankles lift. You open and close here. Breathe. All right, let's finish. Knees come together. Remove the weights. We are done with those. Let's have a seat on our bottom. Legs are long, toes up to the sky. Arms lift up to the sky. Exhale, reach forward. Reach forward, maybe capture your ankles, your calves, or maybe you drape your hands over the tops of your feet. Straighten the knees or bend the knees, whatever works. Feel this nice stretch up your back. Let the crown of your head lengthen toward the front of the room as your chin is slightly tucked. Lengthen and release. As you release, let the back of your belly button touch your spine. And then release. Let's come on up, shoulders over your hips. Let's come on down to our stomachs and do Superman and swimmer. All right. Arms lengthen to the top of your mat. Legs reach to the bottom of your mat. They're slightly spread. Chin is down, forehead is down on your mat. You can begin by lifting one leg or the other, or both. We're going into Superman, so you know what that means. Arms are going to come up too. Balance on your belly. Reach, reach, reach. Stay right here. Feel the compression of your low back. Hold on. Swimmer, start to kick your feet. Arms are going to just move naturally. Kick your feet like you're swimming in a pool. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Finish. Legs come down, elbows bend, hands go under your collarbones. Press on up through straightened arms and take your seal pose. Gaze down your nose. And then let's finish. All right, let's come on back to our backs. Once on your back, grab your eye shade or your towel before you come to your back. Place it up by your shoulders. Hands to prayer center, lengthen up. Exhale, recline. As you recline, interlaced fingers go underneath your right knee. Hug your right knee in. Left leg is long on the mat, toes drawn toward the shin. Hug the knee in. Now circle that knee like it's drawing circles on the sky. Hug the knee in, bring it back to stillness, then release it. Left leg long. That's the right leg. Left leg now bends. Hug it in, good and strong. Shoulders are down. Circle the knee around and around one way, then around and around the other. Hug it in, good and tight, and release the left leg long. When you're ready, final Shavasana. Arms down by your sides. Heels slightly spread toward the bottoms of your mat. Toes relax, shoulders wiggle. Let's come into our final Shavasana pose. Take a deep breath in. And a big sigh and breath out. Remember the other day what we did? We talked about tension and release. Let's squeeze our hands good and tight. Now just feel how making fists create tension in that forearm that we stretched out early on. Feel the tension in the shoulders, even feel it all the way up into the neck and the back. Now squeeze the toes towards the sole of the foot. Same thing here. Feel the tension go through the calves, all the way through the knees and the thighs and your glutes. Squeeze good and tight. Hold on here. Tension, tension, tension. Like you're in a plank, right? And then release. Let it all go. Maybe sigh it out your mouth. Let it go. Be at peace. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Soften your belly and your bottom cheeks. Soften them too. Arms are heavy. Shoulders are away from the ears. Your neck is long. Your breaths are deep. Big inhale. And when you take your exhales, make them a little bit longer. Softness in your jaws, heaviness in the eyeballs. If you have a remote control nearby, this is the time for you to maybe hit pause. And then you can take as long as you want in this resting pose. Find stillness in it. And if it's time for you to conclude your day, not conclude your day, to conclude your practice and get on with your day, let's take a deep, refreshing breath in. And a big sighing breath out. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Now your wrists and your ankles get in on the motion. Inhale, reach high overhead. Take a big good morning stretch as if it were the first stretch of your day. And exhale, bend your elbows and your knees and roll into a fetal position. That's how we finished our practice yesterday. We finished in a side lying final Shavasana fetal position pose. Take a deep breath in. And a shoulder softening breath out. Stay here as long as you like. I'm going to float on up. Consciously think about it. Eyes open or closed. Use your hands or don't. Sit however is comfortable for you right now. Hands to prayer center, lengthen up. Exhale, soften up. Actively think of releasing tension. It's gone. You are just a being, and it feels good to just be. Not do, just be. Gently blink your eyes open. You did it. Congratulations. 60 minutes of yoga. Good on you. Stress number you took in the beginning, what was it? More importantly, what is it now? Feels good, right? Get out and walk. Get out and do something fun. Gotta have fun. Remember, creativity is intelligence, having fun. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Remember, your happiness is dependent on your self-discipline. Yeah, it's true. We're the biggest obstacles to our own happiness. Get out of your own way, get moving, and live. See you guys on your mats tomorrow. Love you. Namaste. Bye. Thanks for being here. You did another yoga practice and your body is feeling better for it. Feel what you feel in your body. Enjoy and appreciate what you got. And just show up every day and things will get better. You will feel better and life is good. It really is. All right. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody. You know that. Tell your friends about it. Have them join in too. They can feel better and they will feel better. And if they feel better, they'll be more pleasant. And if they're more pleasant, they might just be a better friend. All right. They can check us out anytime they like. Facebook, YouTube. Enjoy. If you'd like to support our broadcast, look at our website. It's www.316yoga.com. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're being faithful to your practice. See you on your mats tomorrow.